Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Over the past few days since we've seen the Season 5 Reloaded update drop, we've actually had several sort of mini updates go live within the background. We've actually got some patch notes for a couple of these. However, we also got some changes live in-game that were not really mentioned anywhere, at least publicly. They made some adjustments to the Trello board and whatnot, so there's also been some secret updates and some secret changes that have happened over the past couple of days. And today, we're breaking all the new updates, all those new changes down. So starting first here with Call of Duty updates, they've posted a few things in the past couple of days. Starting first with a new update that's now out for Warzone. They say, today's update, this is referencing Season 5 Reloaded, of course. Today's update included changes to how the match ID, the bottom left corner in-game, appears. These changes are intended to enhance visibility for players as we encourage anyone making a live issue report to include their match ID from the game. You might notice that in the bottom left of your screen now, all those random numbers, much larger, much easier to read. Including your match ID in a report allows us to track the data more effectively on the back ends. The most effective live issue report to share with us includes photo and video of your match ID. We are saying that the changes to the match ID have caused some players to experience some visual collision with the Warzone widget based on individual settings. We're working to correct this in a future update. So if you're wondering why those numbers are larger after this update, that is an intentional change based around reports and how effective those can be, but also kind of an accidental update is that those numbers do overlap some of the Warzone info when your name is in the bottom left there. Obviously, it might overlap your armor or your health, or if you have a streak up or whatever other info might be shown there at any point in the match. So they are aware of that. They'll adjust that and probably move the HUD around a little bit in an upcoming update here. COD Updates also says a new thing for Warzone. We are aware of an issue causing incorrect ammo type to be displayed on the HUD when using the Torque 35. So just a visual issue there, but if you are running around with that, just know the ammo does not actually match on screen compared to what it's actually using in game. So you could pretty easily get confused by that if you're not paying attention to it. But again, another update that will be fixed here relatively shortly. Now, courtesy of Sledgehammer over on Reddit, where they've been pretty active in the past couple of weeks, we also have some other clarification on various different updates that were made either intentionally or unintentionally, and some other things that they've discussed in detail as well that we otherwise just did not have in any patch notes officially anywhere. So when asked about an update made to the all black camo for the STG, basically it's a lot more flat now. It doesn't really look like there's even a camo on the gun. Sledgehammer was asked if that was intentional, and they say no, that was not an intentional change, that was bugged. We will get that fixed. So if you're a fan of that all like matte black camo or whatever, that will be updated here to match what it was like before the update at some point in the near future. Sledgehammer also says they've adjusted some of the patch notes from Season 5 Reloaded. These are, I believe, global or / universal updates for MP and Warzone. So they say we amended the patch notes to address a few minor inaccuracies. On the BAS-B, while the lower torso damage has been increased, it was not intended to match the upper torso damage. So they did initially say, hey, we've buffed the lower torso multiplier, so it's now the same as the upper torso. And that would be a pretty significant buff that would definitely, make it a lot more forgiving depending on where you're landing your shots on the body. But they did clarify, obviously, lower torso still doing less damage than the upper torso, but the lower torso is better than it was before, specifically for the BAS-B. They also say on the MTZ-762, the improved damage range is specifically for the Jack Heretic carbine kit and not the base weapon. If there was any confusion there with the patch notes listed, only the aftermarket part on the MTZ was updated there. Then they also say on the 50GS and the Basilisk, there was no hipfire spread buffs that were intended there, so those were also incorrect in the patch notes. Additionally, they also add the 9mm Damon and the GS Magna were meant to receive some damage buffs, but those changes are not functioning as intended. We are investigating. So that means in a future update here in maybe the coming days, we're going to see some more weapon update patch notes go out that do include buffs to the 9mm Damon and the 50GS Magna ammo and damage there. So that'll end up getting buffed in a future patch once they correct that and figure out why exactly that update did not go through. Speaking of upcoming updates, by the way, obviously this upcoming week is going to be a bit of a chaotic one. We've got Call of Duty next on Wednesday, the Black Ops 6 beta coming up on Friday. Also this Monday, now that we have it official, there's going to be a new Black Ops 6 multiplayer trailer revealed, and I'll be covering that right as it happens, alongside any other potential updates, all the major BO6 reveals. So Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss anything. So much info is dropping this week. This is the best place to be to stay up to date with all of it. So feel free to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. And of course, if you enjoy this video, a like rating really does help promote the channel, help it grow as well by pushing the videos into the YouTube algorithm a little bit more. But all that to say, with the chaos of this upcoming week, we might not see as many standard updates drop within Warzone and MW3. So to see some of these fixes, to see some of these weapon updates and other things change, it might take place a little bit later on compared to usual, where we wouldn't have the next event obviously overshadowing everything going on in MW3 and Warzone, and then the Black Ops 6 beta immediately following that overshadowing everything going on as well. So just a little heads up into the next few days, it might be a different schedule than what we're used to with updates, patches, and general communication. Anyways, Sledgehammer does end up posting one more update over on their Reddit, and this is in regards to an issue that was going on in multiplayer where the game would basically just start doing the launch sequence with like the red lettering and everything for MW3 in the middle of a match, and they fixed it relatively quickly. They did say, hey, this was just a bug, we fixed it, pretend it never happened. So if you were getting that visual bug where your screen just turned black and red for a little bit, that has now been fully updated and fully fixed. However, that's not all for some of the changes and updates that have gone live over the past few days. On the Trello board, specifically our global one for Modern Warfare 3, we also ended up seeing some bugs and some other listed items moved into the Resolved Issues tab without being mentioned officially on the COD Updates Twitter or in any patch notes. This actually specifically is regarding some weapon updates, some pretty important ones for the general meta, right? So you may recall prior to Season 5 Reloaded, there were some pistol issues going on. The Core 45 and the Renetti both had things disabled for them because there were exploits regarding the Akimbo rear grip or the conversion kit. Well, now in the Resolved Issues tab, the Core 45 and the Renetti have both been updated. So the Core 45 conversion kit was temporarily disabled due to an exploit where you could put Akimbo on it. No longer the case. They have gone through, they have updated that. They just didn't mention it in the patch notes anywhere. So if you were looking to use the Core 45 conversion, which in my opinion is probably the best way to use it, you can now go through and use that as it's intended. And then same deal with the Renetti. They disabled the Akimbo rear grip on that because that was also bugged with an exploit. They've gone through, they've updated that. You can now use Akimbo on the Renetti, which also is the best way to use the Renetti in my opinion too. They did also move over obviously some things that were mentioned in the patch notes, like the inconsistent hipfire damage in zombies, then the combat knife blueprints. But kind of interesting that some pretty important weapon updates from the week prior that were on the Trello did not get mentioned officially anywhere and just were sort of secretly moved over into the, hey, we fixed this tab. But now you know all the secret updates, all the new changes that have gone live in Warzone and MW3 over the past few days are out there. Hopefully this addressed some of the issues that you guys were having or some concerns you guys were having with this update. Like I said, the upcoming couple of days are going to be chaotic yet exciting. We've got so much going on. So if there's any new updates, patch notes, and of course with all the official reveals and announcements coming out of Black Ops 6, this is the place to be to guarantee you are up to date with everything you need to know. So feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. And if you enjoyed the video, a like would be seriously appreciated as well. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.